Hello everybody, Rituro here with another episode of My Life in Silver League. My opponent today, a level 41 Silver Leaguer by the name of Millhouse. Kind of looks like Millhouse from The Simpsons, that's wonderful. He's playing Protoss on a merry-go-round against me as random. This was my final match of the previous season, 2014 season, and something kind of weird happened with this one. So this all looks pretty normal. There's me as the red Protoss on merry-go-round and Millhouse as the blue. I throw up the GLHF, as you know, I always do, always be polite. And then I figured, well, you know what? I'm hungry. And it just so happened that there was a slice of pizza waiting for me in the kitchen. So, went up to go get the pizza, figured I'd grab that while I wait for this probe to build, come back, no problems. Here's the thing, I didn't come back right away. Look, I kind of, as you can see, that probe's done. I still haven't come back. I'm still off getting pizza. Millhouse has dropped down his first pylon. He's got his gateway on the way. He's scouting. I'm just sitting here, floating resources, doing absolutely nothing. And, yeah. Now, Millhouse here is getting a good scout in. He's seen everything he needs to see to know that there are no proxies, nothing of my own. Though he is carrying minerals here. You need those minerals back at your base there, Millhouse. And he, hides out in the corner. Gateway about 2/3, 3/4 done here. Also sending out, oh, there's the forge. So you know what's happening here. Forge before the gateway's even done. Well, that can only mean one thing. It means it's going to be a cannon rush, and I have no idea because I'm busy getting pizza. So that's kind of an issue. Finally, I get back. I'm like, oh, geez, I'm floating nearly 700 minerals. Let's start building stuff quick. I have no idea Millhouse has snuck this probe in, but what he doesn't know either is that I'm going to go straight into fast expand, no forge, no gateway, nothing, and go straight into spending this money as fast as I possibly can. Assimilators are on the way. I'm chrono boosting up probes to try and catch up. I'm actually only 2 probes behind here, so that is still going to be enough, because there's the pylon for Millhouse. He's got his proxy down, and so begins the cannon rush. No other buildings back at home here for Millhouse. He's got to get an assimilator up, but is not actively mining it, though he's got his 2 cannons down. I think at this point, do I know what's happening? Not quite. I can't quite see what Millhouse is up to, which is bad. Although I am doing my best here to chrono boost out and recover from this abysmal pizza-related start. Remember, I'm busy chowing down on pizza here, realizing, oh geez, I forgot I was playing StarCraft. And my punishment for this is to be cannon rushed. I'm also trying desperately to scout here to see if I can get any sort of idea of what's going on in my opponent's base. I see the forge, I see the gateway, I see the pylon, and I see all this absolutely nothing going on. And I begin to get the idea that, ooh, something might be up here. Something may definitely be up, and now that I can see this, I have sight of this pylon being built. I do remember, it's been a while since this match happened, I do have a slight memory of things about to go horribly. But Millhouse does well here to seal off my exit with a cybernetics core. I realize I'm in trouble, so let's just ring around the rosy for that probe. However, my second nexus is done. My own forge is done. My first thought is, okay, defensive cannon to counter the cannon rush. However, Millhouse has the cache and the active probe, which is the important part. So my counter cannon rush, it's probably not the best idea. But he does put down his own pylon. As my cannon is done, it's time to try and take down this building cannon before we can start attacking my probes. I'm desperately trying to mine everything I can out of this main base before I get out of dodge. The cannons will go after one another here. That, unfortunately, that more important cannon is done. With this pylon active, Millhouse now has all the range he needs to complete the cannon rush. My main base is fully under siege. Time to abandon, and sure enough, I have 12 probes now on the second base, which Millhouse has no idea is active. He thinks he's got an easy cannon rush here, and this probe is just sitting back and loving life. Meanwhile, Mothership Core on the way here back at Millhouse's main base. He's taking out my scouting probe, and he's bringing on the Mothership Core for defense. Probably means you're going to be seeing some proxy something. He's got the pylons there. Meanwhile, I've said it, I've had enough. The probes are getting out of dodge. They have relocated to the expansion. Even the probe on gas is getting out of town here. Meanwhile, my first gateway is going up. Millhouse with the offensive, GG. He figures he's won. He figures it's over. That everything here is going exactly as he's planned. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, already? Oh no. And there's the unfortunate move there. Oh no, my dear cannon rushing sir. Cannon rushing sir. His probe unfortunately taken out. Costly there for Millhouse. He can no longer complete the cannon rush. He will take down the Nexus. That will be gone. But not before I get as many probes as possible moved over to my expansion, which I guess the natural now becomes by default my main base. Out those probes, full saturation here at the natural. Gateway and pylon on the way as well. I am gonna make absolutely certain that Millhouse pays for this cannon rush. Millhouse is pumping on the gateways. He's gonna go for the warp in and finish this thing off, and why not? The 4-gate play alpha cannon rush. That's how you do it in Silver League. Now the next shield is down. It will be destroyed soon enough. However, I do have an advantage here over Millhouse, and my worker supply is 30 to 18. Meanwhile, I've got my own cannons here to try and contain what I imagine will be an attempt by Millhouse to move out. I'm anticipating the warp in here, and that should buy me some time, as warp in technology is indeed on the way for Millhouse. My own cybernetics core almost done, as I now have my own cannons here at the front door, going down to protect against anybody walking up the front. Probes are completely and fully saturated. I'm still building more with the idea of making another expansion or perhaps reclaiming the Nexus, and now the mothership core is on the way. Full saturation on minerals, gas. It's the most tip-top economy I can possibly get. And there indeed is the 4-stalker warp in with a time warp on the... Okay. Time warp on the cannon. What that was, but the 4-stalker mothership plane, I think again the pylon depowers the forge. I will lose the money and the time, more importantly. Actually, I will get that money back when the upgrade, I guess, de facto cancels. And boom, there it is. It's gone. Upgrade time is done. And now 8 stalkers moving in. There's the cannon to scare them off. Well, I have got my own stalkers on the way too. My mothership core is hovering over the probes. We have another building here, another forge going down, another pylon as well to keep that supply block broken. Or try to break the supply block, I should say. Stalker on the way here. Warp gate technology also on the way. Pumping out stalkers as fast as I can build them 2 at a time. I've got the money to expand, and sure enough, anytime, boys. That's supposed to be a scouting probe. Anytime you want to drop down that Nexus, anytime at all. And now the stalkers, in one coordinated volley, are going down cannon at a time. However, they will get a stalker for their troubles. Stalker's not totally ready to commit here. Do they know what's below? They must have some idea. They can see the assimilator. Something out there. Looking for other proxies I am with the scouting probe, but now I have the extra Nexus on the way, so the expansion will continue. Still only the one base here for Millhouse. He is not even fully saturated. This mineral line focusing on the kill here, I guess you would call it. Theirs, however, is the time warp and a photon overcharge on the Nexus. Off come the probe to soak up some damage and to try and attack and block the stalkers. They don't have flank. The Nexus is raking in the kills now. 2. Can they get a third? Cannon is up to 1. The probes putting their little metallic water. There's the surround on the stalkers. They are going nowhere. The army is crushed. Back to work go the probes. Militia Corps now realizes it needs to fall back where it is destroyed. The stalkers not wanting to get any closer to that overcharged Nexus if they can get away with it. Corona Boost is bringing out more stalkers here as the first wave of defense is successful. Back up at Casa de Millhouse, 2 more stalkers to join the 3 survivors. You're like, whoa, dude, I was not expecting that. And meanwhile, my warp gating gateways are now ready. Going through the plates here for some reason. Interesting choice. However, it does give me time to warp in more defenders. More vitally needed defenders. As the probes madly mining away there, I do have the Nexus built, and I believe this is where I start transferring workers over. Maybe a little bit later, but I am trying to build there now and get that economy up. Still just the one base here for Millhouse. No extra probes to be built. He's gone to Templar or to Twilight Council. That will get him the blink that he needs on his stalkers. No mothership core, though that was defeated. And now here come the stalkers for wave 2. Unfortunately, they meet plenty more stalkers. as I have my own Twilight Council, or that is, sorry, Millhouse's Twilight Council. I'm busy trying to get pylons down to try and break my supply block again. I have again hit supply block. I'm actually out-supplying Millhouse here. I'm beating him in army supply and worker supply, showing you that you don't necessarily have to be the biggest dog in the fight to win a cannon rush. You just have to make sure you have an expansion on the way. Early expand beats cannon rush, especially when there is no scouting being done. Energy for a second, photon overcharge. I'm gonna lose the assimilator here, but I don't really care. I've got more important things to worry about here, like getting more stalkers on the field here, getting these pylons up so I can bring in more stalkers. There's the warp in. 3 more stalkers and a sentry, that all-important guardian shield. Down goes the assimilator. The probe's like, ah, well, that was unfortunate. Unfortunate. Pylons are done here now, as the probe count is climbing over at the expansion. Couple of robos now. I believe this was for my immortals to try and counter the DPS of the stalkers in their volleys. Dark Shrine for Millhouse, because when all else fails, go straight to the always cloaked unit. Millhouse trying to bait me back onto the scans. It's not happening. There's the Guardian Shield. It's going to save some of those stalkers, not all though, and this army will be destroyed or at least forced back. It's not the best trade at all for me, but it is going to buy me some time here, perhaps bait Millhouse down onto the next, and it will indeed. There's the photon overcharge. The stalkers are driven back again. More stalkers falling, up to 4 kills on the Nexus. However, there are reinforcements here. The robos are done here for me. Dark Shrine is 2/3, 3/4 done now for Millhouse. He is going to be moving over to the Dark Templar tech as quick as he can, though interestingly enough, I do have the counter in the form of observers waiting to go just as soon as I can build them. Oh, I am focusing on defending here. I'm kind of surprised I did not move these probes to the southern expansion. So I'd say one lesson there right away is to get more probes moving. There we go. Now we have the probes moving away. Level 1 weapons also done, so I have a slight upgrade advantage on Millhouse. And even more importantly, here come the Immortals to tank the damage. 4 Dark Templar warping in now. This is what Millhouse wants to do, is try and end it with stealth if he can't do it with brute force. Problem is I do have detectors in the form of cannons here, and by walking around the towards their line of sight, that's going to result in the death of some Dark Templar very, very quickly. And down goes, will they get the second one there? Will they get the second one? Trying to bait that Dark Templar. If they don't attack this photon cannon, it will build and it will get more detection. Stalkers now trying to come in there as a pylon on the high ground is being built. Stalkers do indeed bring down the cannon. There's the Guardian Shield from the Stalkers. But here come the Immortals to save the day. Even the probe joining in on the fun here of the Immortals, and their wondrous, wondrous heavy shields will do just fine here. The Templars now trying to move in. The probe's like, oh, wait a minute. We moved to the wrong spot here. These probes will get slaughtered. And the Dark Templar will now move straight into the... Let's take down all the pylons. They're going straight for the gateway now. Do we see more cannons? We will indeed. Now they get the bright idea to go after the cannons. That's how you do it. Well, it's an observer and an immortal on the way here. That's what I needed. As the army now hides behind the lines. 1 pylon still powering everything. And there, indeed, is the site of the... there it is with the observer is here. We can see the Dark Templar. That's going to be the end of them. And they're like, okay, we're getting out of here now. We're getting out of here now. And the observer will come home, allow that site. And there go the Templar. Probes were quite handily slaughtered there, so unintentionally I've lowered my probe count at the base. However, at the natural, we are beginning to saturate quite nicely as the Immortal train continues off this two robo, 3 gateway play. All the pros use it. Saw it in a video once. 4 stalkers, 7 stalkers now on the high ground. The Dark Templar have decided to get out and wait, I guess, to try and stop any expansion. This scouting probe has not found anything convincing me that it is going to be a single player, and indeed, the main base is almost completely done. Now, the cannon is in order to attack the forge to open the front door. Front base, indeed, almost completely mined out for Millhouse, and now I imagine this is so he can get a probe out the front door to expand, while I bring in my own reinforcements in the form of more stalkers. Another observer also being brought in to check for any more Dark Templar. Probe count looking pretty good here. Still 83 to 42 is the supply count favoring me. I'm actually supply blocked now. But perhaps more importantly, I have once again managed to stave off the inevitable. And now the Dark Templar are realizing they must come down here. They do indeed find it, and they'll go after these cannons. But it's a bad idea from the Dark Templar. 2 Dark Templar down. They are, however, in the middle of the probe line. Do the probes decide to get out, or are they gonna? Oh, it's gonna be a trade here. Taking the probes. No, I'm attacking this forward base. Down go the pylons, and with these Immortals leading the way, that's the end of this forward base. No more cannon rush for Millhouse. Indeed, I am establishing a base here in the far corner. As the Dark Templar have completely wiped out the probes, go after the Nexus. It's a bad idea, because as soon as they try to do it, the cannon has sight. They will get the probe here, not taking a shot from the cannon. Have they found the right angle? No, they have not. They're just trying to run for it. But the army has showed up. Goodbye, Mr. Dark Templar. That's the end of the Dark Templar. Millhouse has almost completed his expansion, but he's now severely down here. 24 to 6 is the supply. Yes, I've lost my probes, but I don't care. I have money in the bank. I can rebuild. I can also get more Immortals onto the field. And with expansions galore, probes or pylons also going up to alleviate the supply block. These Stalkers will waddle their way across, find this recently only just complete expansion for Millhouse. Oh, Millhouse, you silly fool, you forgot to actually expand. And with the Immortals waddling over to join them, this is what you call the sweet revenge here. Oh, those Immortal cannons. Down goes the completely unattended expansion. Millhouse just about to complete his forward replacement here at the back of his base, almost completely mined out. The probes have nowhere to go. They have the catchment back to escape, but Millhouse just decides to leave. No GG, his cannon rush is blunted, and the mighty Protoss Pizza Army manages to survive, completely ignoring the opening game, not realizing they've been cannon rushed, to come back and win. That was the end of Season 2 2014 for me. Next time on My Life in Silver League, we're going to see my first match from Season 3. Thank you all for watching. My name is Rituro, and we'll see you next time.